From Yochanan or John chapter 17 verse 2 I read, "Just as you have given him authority over all humanity," this is referring to Yeshua, "so that he can give life stretching beyond the horizon to everyone you have given him." That stretching beyond the horizon is from the Hebrew word olam and means time that is beyond knowing, beyond what we can see. It's time beyond knowing. So all humanity, given him authority over all humanity, and then he's going to give life stretching beyond the horizon to everyone that's been given to him. He's been given all humanity. Interesting. 1 Timothy chapter 2 verses 3 through 6. Okay, I'll try to stop saying interesting just in case anybody's getting sick of that. 1 Timothy 2, 3 through 6. Such prayer for everyone is good and welcomed before Yahweh our rescuer, since he desires, intends, and wills for all people to be rescued. All people. And to come to a knowledge of the truth, so everybody's going to know the truth. Because there's one Yahweh of power and authority, and one intermediary between Yahweh and humanity, the human Mashiach Yeshua, who gave himself as a ransom for all, revealing Yahweh's purpose at his appointed time. That's neat. All people to be rescued. The man, the human, Yeshua HaMashiach, gave himself as a ransom for all, everyone, revealing Yahweh's purpose. Yahweh's purpose is his desire, intention, and will for everyone to be rescued, for all people to be rescued. 1 Timothy chapter 4 verses 10 through 11. We have set our hope on the living Yahweh, who is the rescuer of all people, especially of believers. Command and teach these things. So commanded to teach that Yahweh is the rescuer of everyone, especially believers, but everyone. Revelations chapter 1 verses 18, and the one who lives, this is Yeshua speaking, he's the one who lives. I was dead, but look, now I'm alive, for time stretching beyond the horizon and still further, time way beyond knowing. And I hold the keys of and have complete power over death and the grave. So Yeshua has complete, absolute power and authority over death and the grave. Revelations 5 verse 13, then I heard every creature in heaven, on earth, under the earth, in the sea, and all that is in them. It's pretty much everybody and everything, every living thing, singing, to the one seated on the throne and to the Lamb be praise and adoration, pricelessness and honor, importance and power, and ruling and authority stretching beyond the horizon and still further, time way beyond knowing. Neat. So every single being that lives or has ever lived will be singing this. Be singing praise and adoration, pricelessness and honor, importance and power, and ruling and authority for all time, forever and ever, to Yahweh and to his Lamb. Revelations 15 verse 4 reads, who will not be in awe of and fearfully respect you, O Yahweh. Or actually, it's a question. Who will not be in awe of and fearfully respect you, O Yahweh? And think highly of and look towards your name as their guiding light, because you alone are completely separate. All nations will come and bow down with their faces to the ground in respect before you, because your upright, good, and just acts have been revealed. So all nations will come and bow down in respect before Yahweh, because everything that Yahweh has done and his character has been revealed to them. He's shown them completely who he is and what he's all about. Revelations 20 verse 14, then death and the grave were thrown into the lake of fire. That's where my eulogy comes in. Poor death. This is the second death, the lake of fire. So death and the grave are thrown into the lake of fire and they die. They're no more. Death is gone. There's only life. For everybody, there's only life. Poor death. I'm going to end this with a good night, with actually a bedtime story. I think it's appropriate since sleeping is death, and death is going to die and go to sleep, and will be no more. So this is my bedtime story for death. Good night, life. Good night, death. A bedtime story. The first part. Good night, life. Good night, loves. Good night, hate. Good night, envy. Good night, work. Good night, planning. Good night, knowledge. Good night, wisdom. Good night, experience. Good night, existence. The epilogue, called Eschatos. Good night, death. Good night, pain. Good night, sorrow. Good night, grief. Good night, cruelty. Good night, murder. Good night, rape. Good night, abuse. Good night, betrayal. Good night, stealing. Good night, lies. Good night, wrong. And the very last line. Good morning, life. Hopefully you've gotten something out of this. I think I'm going to end it there. I'll leave you to form your own conclusions. And shalom, have a good life. Oh, one more thing I just want to add if I have a moment. We've been preparing for death our whole life. Every night you go to sleep, and every morning you wake up. Over and over and over, you go to sleep and you wake up. You don't realize when you're going to sleep exactly. You're not conscious of when you're asleep, and then you wake up. So the next thing you know, after you go to sleep, you wake up. You might have dreams that you remember and maybe not, but that's what happens. You go to sleep and you wake up. So when we die, it's like we'll be going to sleep and then waking up. I think it's beautiful. Anyways, shalom, have a good life. Thanks for watching. See you on the other side. Bye.